Hey, thanks for joining me again. Today I have a tool post dilemma. The tool post in the middle is the one that comes with the lathe. The one on the left is an OXA quick change tool post, and the one on the right is an AXA quick change tool post. Comparing the OXA to the original, it does look really tiny, doesn't it? And comparing the AXA to the original, that looks pretty dang big. But there is nothing between the two. There's no size between the two. So I'm at a dilemma here on which one I'm going to choose to put on this lathe. This is what I'm really leaning towards. I'd like to have a bigger, beefier quick change on there. But let me show you a problem with that. What I have here is one of the tool holders out of the AXA quick change with a tool that I plan on using. And I'm resting it on the compound right now. So this is the lowest that this tool will set whenever the AXA quick change tool post is installed and this tool holder installed as well. Now, I don't know if you can tell. Let me zoom in a little bit more. Oh. Now the piece in the jaw that I have in the chuck right now has been faced, and you can see that this tool, this cutter and tool holder is just a smidge too high. So if I went with this tool post, I would be forced to trim down the bottom of all the tool holders, which is not really a big job in itself. But that's not the only story. On top of our compound, there is a little boss that sticks up that the original tool post holder slipped over. And on the bottom of the original, has a little indent, so that will fit up in there. The AXA, or even the OXA, they come with this square block on the back that you're supposed to be able to machine down to fit lathes that have T-nuts that hold their tool posts. Well, I could machine, let me get this thing off. Now I could machine the nut where it would fit over down on top of that. But then you have another issue that the tool post would sit too high. And with the AXA tool post, it comes looks like a 9/16 bolt. So I could pull this stud out, machine this off where it was flat, and then tap and drill for this 9/16 bolt or 14mm or whatever it is, but I think that would be too much work. The only other option would be to possibly ream this hole out so it would fit over that. But then you'd be left with the problem of not having that stud stick out far enough for your nut and stud up on top. Another option would be trim that down. This will sit over on top of it. Take a bolt like this, cut the threads off, face that in that's left over, drill it, tap on the inside to this 8mm thread, and then use that to go down through the quick change tool post to hold it. Still not sure if I'm going to do that either. The OXA on the other hand, it will, here, let me get it taken apart. It will fit over that stud, but that boss is still in the way on it. Now these threads are the same on the OXA as it is on the original, so I could possibly take that stud out, machine this T-nut to fit down over that, and then use the small tool post the OXA. But like I say, I really would like to use the bigger one. So I'm going to pause for a bit, take a think about it, and see what I come up with. Okay, I just took a tool post holder out of the box for the OXA. And if I use that plate, and looking down the back like I'd shown you just a second ago, I'm going to have the same issue. It's just a smidge high as well. So I would end up having to face the bottom of those, you know, get it dropped down further. Let me show you something else. Whenever I was talking about reaming this hole out so it'd fit down over there, I went ahead and I took it apart. Now these loosen clockwise instead of counterclockwise, so if you do take one of these apart to clean it, beware of that. This inner sleeve threads into this bottom hole, so if I were to try to open that up some, I'd be cutting into the threads of that inner sleeve, but it wouldn't be by much. Well, actually it would. I think it would go all the way into the threads. But if I cut down, let me rearrange the camera, give you a better view of that. Alright, that gives you a good view of how many threads I'd have to cut off in order to fit this up into the quick change tool post. And here's where I ended up, guys. I figured out a way to mount the AXA tool post. My previous plans of using the bolt, that didn't work out. I had to grab the crappiest bolt out of the bin because the shank and threads were nowhere near to being centered on the bolt head. So what I ended up doing was taking the stud that came with the AXA, cutting it down, drilling it out, and tapping it M10, and sticking it down over the original stud that comes with the lathe. Which meant, with this boss up here on the compound, I did have to go ahead, I don't know if you can see that or not, I did have to go ahead and machine a little bit of that inside sleeve, and just a, I don't know, it looks like 4 or 5 threads, or 3 or 4 threads on the outside part of the tool post. And now it sits up on there real good, and no complaints there. The holders themselves, the one I have in there now, I have trimmed a little bit off the bottom of it. I just took it to my belt sander and whacked a little bit off, and then tried it again, whacked a little bit more until I got down far enough where I was cutting on center. So I guess the next thing to show you or talk about is the other tool holders that come with the kit. This is supposed to be for a parting tool, and I haven't read a good thing about these yet. The way that they're angled, it just kicks the parting tool up too high, and there's no way to get it low enough to actually be of any use. This is another square or possible round tool holder. I don't know if you can see that there's a groove in the bottom there. That's supposed to help you hold round things. I don't know if I have anything that I'll ever use that's round, so it'll just get used for a square tool as well. And more than likely, I'll have to shave the bottom of all of these tools. This tool is this holder has accommodations for a tool on one end and then a knurling on the other end. Likewise, I don't think I've heard anything good about this holder either. The knurling side is non-adjustable, and you can't put too long of a tool in there, and you really only have 2 small points to hold it out towards the end of it, and you can only really use it facing this way on the tool post. Last but not least, and it's a boring bar holder. There is a sleeve that comes with it, so you can adapt it down to 1/2 inch, I believe, and I think without the sleeve you can put in a 5/8 inch boring bar. I don't have any boring bars that big, but it does have me thinking about something else. So what I've got planned, together with the boring bar holder, a chuck, and this piece of pipe, well, not pipe, but of a round bar, I want to make a tool mounted or tool post mounted drill. All I'll need to do is come up with some bushings that'll fit inside there, turn this down to fit through the bushings, thread it to screw on the chuck, and I should be good to go. I think that's it for now. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.